Hey everyone, welcome to the webinar. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. I'm just logging in right now, and go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat room. Right, so we'll get started here. There's just going to be a small group of us, so feel free to introduce yourself here in the chat box. We'll get started here, and so if you have your questions, that's good too, because at the end we're going to open it up for Q&A. But for now, in the chat room, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where you're coming from. Feel free to let us know a little bit about your company, and we'll get started here in just a couple minutes. Right. Yeah, there'll just be a small group of us today, probably 10 or so people. So feel free to say hello. Let us know where you're coming from. I literally just got back. I was up in Canada, and so I just got back. Nathan Jones, hello, Nathan. Good to see you again. Salt Lake. I haven't been to Salt Lake in like a year or two. Okay, perfect. I'm just looking around, making sure we got all our things open today. Quests. Okay. Cool. Right. So if you're just logging in with us now, feel free to go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know where you're coming from, and we will get started here in just a few minutes. Right. So just out of curiosity for everyone that is on live today, I'm wondering how many employees you currently have, just so I can kind of tailor this this live webinar for you guys, give you the most value. We'll jump right into it, and then we'll kind of roll with. I probably have 30-40 minutes, and then you know, make sure you write down any questions you might have. And we'll jump into Q&A and talk about all things hiring. If you guys have any technical issues, let me know. And I think you should be good though. But let's go ahead and just jump right into it. And then I'm going to go through basically how I'm going to do is talk about everything we're doing in our company and what's worked well for us. And so we've always been, Isaac says, will you be chatting on Webinar Jam or YouTube Live? It'll be on Webinar Jam, Isaac, for the Q&A. And for the talking part, I'll probably get out of the chat box. But yeah, feel free to go in Webinar Jam. And if you can't leave me a question because sometimes people's mobile won't work or something, just feel free to email me. But let's jump right into this. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about basically the things that have worked for our company. And so regardless of whether people are in the landscaping industry, in my area, a lot of small business owners come to me, and one of the biggest things they're asking me is, how do I get the team that we've got at our company? And how have I found them? How have I hired them? How have I retained them? And so today, that's what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about how to find these people, where to find them, how to get them into your business, and then how to hire them and retain them. And really, that is the essence of a small business owner, whether it be landscaping or any other company. And a lot of the meetings I have locally with small business owners, whether it be for window cleaning services or any other industry, even outside of landscaping, the biggest thing it comes down to is what's their team like, what's their hiring process like, and so that's what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to be kind of talking about the two different things that have really worked well for us. And then I'm going to show you everything from our ads that we put on Craigslist, our Facebook stuff, what our presentation looks like at our career fair. I'm actually going to show it to you via screen share. I'm going to show you the online application that our company has that people can fill out. I'm also going to, at the end, I'm going to go through the newsletters that has dramatically increased our sales in the past 24 months or so and has had massive results for the course members. And so I'm going to actually show you the emails that we've made and with the newsletters that we send out every month to really increase the sales for our existing client base. And so we'll jump all into that in the next 30 to 40 minutes. But again, if you have any questions, write them down, and I'll be addressing them all here at the end of the show. So first of all, I'm going to talk about two different ways that we have found the best people for our company. The number one way is career fairs, and then the second way is just regular old interviews. So I'm going to walk through both of those different methods and when we use them and kind of the process in which we use. So number one, for the career fairs, the thing about the career fairs that is so nice, and you've heard me talk about this in the podcast, is that you can get a huge amount of applicants into one room, and you can really cut out a lot of time as far as trying to weed them out or trying to screen them just by having this big career fair, having a whole bunch of applicants come together on one night. So how the career fair works for us is day one is basically the presentation. Day two is a work bee. Day three is when they actually get their interviews. So it's kind of a 3-day process. And usually if we get 30, 40 people coming to a day one, like on the career fair night, usually by the end of it, you're only actually interviewing like 5 or 6. And so it really reduces the amount of time it takes to screen them, look through their resumes, and then interview them when you know right off the bat that they're not even going to be work well for your organization. And so the career fair, number one thing is get prospects. So this aspect is really advertising the career fair night. So this is when you are going to be putting it on your social media. You're going to be posting it and trying to get as many people as you possibly can to this event. So one of the main ways we've used is Craigslist, but we've also used Facebook. We've also used something that's really cool, and I wish I could show it to you, but I don't think I have it. And that is the sign that we recently put on the back of all of our trucks. So basically, we have dozens of signs driving around. We have these same signs at our office, both our offices, on the windows. And so what it allows people to do, basically all it says is, want to join our team, ? Now hiring, ! Apply online. And that's just in yellow, brown, and green text. And that's on the back tailgate of all of our trucks. And so that's a lead generator, right? It's getting people in the door, and our goal is trying to push them to our online application. And so that's one way we've done it. We've done it through Facebook. We've used Nextdoor. If you haven't checked this out, Nextdoor, just go to Nextdoor, Google it. You can find out. Basically, it's a lot of people in your local area that are talking about things that are happening locally, and you can make an announcement and tell everyone, hey, we're having a career fair. Do you know anyone that is looking for a job or is wanting to change careers? And so we use Nextdoor, we use Facebook, we use Craigslist, we use these signs that we now have on our trucks. We're trying to get as many applicants as we possibly can to these career fairs. And so one of the things that was really worked well for us this year is offering a $300 incentive if someone basically refers someone to become an employee to us. So let me show you kind of what the first step is, and that is the Craigslist ads. I'll jump into more about what I just talked about in a second. But we're trying to get as many applicants as we possibly can to come to this career fair. One of the ways that we do that is through, I'm just trying to show this to you guys, through Craigslist. So should be able to see this now, I do believe. Yes, good. All right, so this is our Craigslist ad, one of our Craigslist ads. We have probably, let's see here, I think I probably have 10 or 11 active right now. Yeah, 8 or so. So this is one of the older ones that we've had out for almost a month now, but we try to rotate the pictures and a little bit of the text. But you can see here we just have some pictures and things, and then we make some things that are a little bit different. So we have this picture in here that says our mission is to revolutionize the level of professionalism in the landscaping industry and build a team that is inspired by the work they do. Oh, this is funny. This is coincidence. As I'm talking to you guys, this thing just popped up. I'm going to actually show you my entire screen right now. I'm going to show you. as I was just showing you guys that Craigslist thing, there's another thing on Craigslist that a lot of people don't do, and that is you can actually go onto Craigslist, go under resumes, and then make yourself a notification every time someone posts a resume in your area, and you can dissect it down more into certain categories. But I basically get a notification every single time that someone I'm going to actually show you my whole screen here to show you what just popped in right here on my email as I was talking about Craigslist and everything. But you can go onto Craigslist and you can have this search. Oh, I see what's happening. You can have this search, and basically every single time someone posts a resume in Bellingham Craigslist, I'm going to get an email. I can then open this thing up. I can contact them and say, hey, I can look at their resume a lot of times from this link. I can see if they'd be a good fit or have a possibility of having a good fit, and then send them a link saying, hey, we'd love to have you on our team. Maybe you could go ahead and apply on. This is one of the ones that we use right here. Sorry, it's a little bit broken up, but I think it'll help you guys. So on the level of professionalism in the landscaping industry and build a team that is inspired by the work they do. We don't just come to work in a business, but on ourselves as professionals. And then we give them the link. And then down here, we basically give some basic requirements. We talk about some of the things that we have to have. We have our base compensation plan in here. And we also point them towards this. So this is kind of the important thing on our Craigslist ads. We don't want people just to spam us with their resume. We aren't looking for people that have 100 different jobs that they're sending their resume to blindly on Craigslist. So we make them go to this link here. And feel free if you guys want to copy even this verbiage in our list here. This is an old picture of our team from last year, and then just our logo and stuff. But then, we get pretty specific as far as our base compensation plan. And then we're pushing them to this link here. So this link is this one actually right here. So you should be able to see. Sorry, I can't see your both page. Good. Very good. So now this is what we're pushing them to. This is basically a link on our website. They can get here also by going here and then clicking careers. But on here, it basically gives them a little bit of an introduction. And then they fill out this job application. Very basic. What's kind of crazy about the way we do our job applications is this. They only have to fill out information if they have a felony, if they smoke, and then they basically have this free range to talk about however they want right here. So we can tell a lot about them just by what they write in this box, because we say, hey, tell us about you, for example, your education, work experience, relevant skills, your hobbies, work references, etc. It's really telling when you see what people write in this. If they write 2 words or like, just can't wait to get a job, then I'm probably not interested. They're going to get screened out. But anyways, where did you hear about us? This is the part that if someone heard about us from their friend, they just have to put their name in here, and then that person will get $300 if we end up hiring them. So that's kind of the area. So like, for instance, when we put on Facebook or Nextdoor or tell our employees to share that we are looking for new hires, they just have to have their friend or whoever put their name in here, and that's who's going to get the $300. So that is where they can do that. Once they submit that, it's going to come to our email at the office, and then they are going to, as it says here, fill out the entire form, click submit. The office will get in touch with you about an interview. And if we're having a job fair, the office is going to screen that individual based upon what they write in here, and then they are going to invite them to a career fair if necessary. We also make sure that we tell them that there are background checks and there are drug tests, so that we screen out right from the get-go. Our job here, our goal here is to screen people out. We're trying to screen out people that are going to spam people with resumes. We want people that have actually known about our company and are wanting to work for us. We are looking for, that's one way to do this. We're screening out people that know they have a bad background or aren't going to be able to pass a drug test. And we're trying to screen them out. We're trying to screen out people who smoke by putting this in here. So like, these are all things that we're trying to do to actually screen people out. So that is one of the best ways that we found to get people to apply for the career fair is filling out this form. And how do we do that? We have Craigslist ads, we have Facebook, we have Nextdoor, we have giveaways. So now let's jump back to this. So that's one of the ways that we kind of make sure that we get people into the career fairs, and we are able to give a presentation. So that's kind of the first part of a career fair, is getting prospects in. So I mentioned we have signs on our trucks. We have signs at our office. Another way that was really interesting to me is people trying to steal other people's employees. No, I do not adhere to the method of going to other landscapers or stopping landscaping crews that you see in your county or city. I do not do that. I don't suggest that you do that either. What goes around comes around. What I do recommend you doing is going to places where individuals are going to be of high caliber and trying to get those individuals that are trying to change careers. For instance, I found a bunch of people at Starbucks or Costco who have great customer service skills, great people skills, and would work great for your organization, who they're only getting $10, $12 an hour, when you can offer them more if they become a project manager, or there's room for them to grow. And even if they're a cashier at Costco or a barista at Starbucks, they can see your company as a place where they can start small, but they have a place to grow into an organization where they can get paid $20, $30 an hour. And so that's definitely a place I would steal an employee from. I wouldn't steal them. I would give them a card, say, hey, if you ever are thinking of changing careers, we'd love to have you apply at our company. That's another way that you can get applicants to a career fair. So we've talked about so far, as far as when it comes to career fairs, how do you get applicants in? We've talked about Craigslist, Facebook, having Nextdoor stuff, promotions. We offer people $300 if they get their name put in that bottom line of that job application where it says, where did you hear about us? If they get their name put in there, they get $300. That goes for our employees. That goes for our friends, family, everyone on our Facebook page, anyone. If they can get their name in that bottom line and that person becomes a successful applicant and gets a job, they're going to get $300. So for instance, tomorrow, actually, we have Matt is a new employee that's starting with us. And he was referred to by one of our project managers, whose name is Lee, who, if you listen to the podcast, the last episode, I did an episode with Lee, who's one of our project managers, and he referred Matt, and Matt applied, got hired, starts tomorrow. Lee is going to get $300 cash as a bonus. So incentivizing your people, because this is the great thing about it. Lee knows what our company is all about. He knows what it takes to be successful at our company. He knows what our culture is like. He knows how much hard work it takes. And so when he gives a referral of someone that wants to work at our company, like instantly that person's at the top of my list. And so I know that they're going to be a good, I trust Lee enough to, I would definitely, but all I'm saying is definitely have a policy in place where if your existing employees refer someone and that person becomes a new hire, you should be giving cash bonuses out to your people. If you're paying $300 or $500 per individual to get them on board, and they're great quality individuals that you don't have to have a big turnover on, or not hiring and then a week later firing, that is well worth it. $300, $500 for a cash referral program is absolutely game changer, whether it be for your Facebook fans or for your customers. Like your customers also, if they're big fans of you, they can be a great referral engine to get leads for new hires. So think about those things. Think about the Costco. Think about the Starbucks, your local grocery store, your favorite retail outlet. Go to those places and offer those individuals on the back of your business card. Have that link to that online application where they can go and submit their form. So these are all places that you can get leads for your career fair. Next part of the career fair we're going to jump into is the actual presentation itself. So now I'm going to show you exactly what our presentation looks like. I'm going to show you this one right here. Boom. Whoops. There we go. I'm going to show you exactly the presentation that we have for our career. If you haven't already, this is a great little startup that was started, I think it was probably 5-6 years ago. Great for making your PowerPoints, presentations, etc. It's super easy, user-friendly. You can create a really professional layout for a slideshow and ads and everything within just a few minutes. It's free, canva.com. And so here is our career fair. This is the presentation that I would show on career fair night. This is the presentation, the first night. So I'm going to go up there. This is what they're going to see. I first of all talk about the history of our company. 2014, I started the company. Then we started the Blaine shop. We had 3 to 4 members. Last year I had 15 plus people, and the Bellingham shop was started. I talk about our future, how we're dedicated to growth, our really what our future in franchising, and accomplishing our why. I talk about our who, our how, what, and why of our company, and that building our team is really our number one. I talk about our mission and about how we want to change the landscaping industry as far as its professionalism. I talk about the what, how, and why, what we do, how we do it, and why we do it, and how what we do is, we maintain landscapes, we build landscapes, we maintain the lawns of our clients. How we do that is by creating a wow effect with our customers and customer service and constantly trying to get better. And then why is really what I focus on in the presentation, and that is we want to change the landscaping industry and how it is perceived, the professionalism. And I talk about our mission a little bit more here. So this is kind of a background of our company. This whole presentation maybe takes 45 minutes. And then I kind of get into the nitty gritty of what we're looking for as far as job description. So for instance, this career fair, this presentation, we were looking for actual team members out in the field. And I point them to the videos that are on our website. And we really actually ask who watched those videos before coming to this career fair, because the people that have already watched a lot of our video content online, they're the people that are invested in the company and not just showing up. They kind of get kudo points right from the get-go. And so we point them in that direction if they want to see more about exactly what they're going to be doing. Team compensation plan, we talk about the year 1, 2, 3, and beyond, how after year 3, it really goes to more of based upon their contribution, based upon their performance, the benefits and things like that. They increase pay raises and increases like that after that year 2. So ideal team member, we talk about the pride and work ethic and what that means for a landscaper. Teachable, how we're I'm looking for someone that's humble and that is able to learn and is able to adapt, because we're always changing so much and want to stay with us long term, and is constantly looking for ways to improve in their self and trying to improve our business. I really do prescribe to the fact and the notion that I want my people not to just be involved in the day-to-day operations, but I want to be having them as on my team, and I expect them to be contributing to how we can make the company better. And so that's about the ideal team member. Then we talk about cons. I get really honest. I'm trying to, again, weed people out. I'm trying to weed out the people that aren't going to be able to work outdoors, work outside when it's hot, it's cold, and it's wet. Work outside when it's long days and 10, 12 hours, and at times when it might be monotonous work. The cons of our company, we have a young management company. Until now, I've been the youngest person on our company, in our organization, youngest individual. Everyone that works for me is older than me. That changes as Wednesday. We have a new hire called Austin. He's 22 and he's a little bit younger than me. But young management, we're a young team. I'm a young owner. And so that's, for some people, that's a con. So we list those. We want to, again, weed people out. The pros: room to grow, great team and culture, continuous improvement. We do have a lot of fun landscaping projects. These are things that you can do. And these are the kind of presentations you can make at the career fair. So next steps I talk about, this is another slide, one of the last ones, team interview, that's tomorrow. They don't know what tomorrow really holds. We're going to jump into what that really looks like in just a minute. But then personal interview is Wednesday. So this would be, for instance, on a Monday when we're having the career fair. Tuesday would be tomorrow for the team interview. Also the work bee outside where we actually see them do work. Third day is the Wednesday, and that is the interviews in person. And I talk about, hey, if you're hired, then you're going to get a training checklist. You're going to have a 1 month performance review. You're going to have a mid-year peer evaluation. Then you're going to have a 1-year performance review. So just kind of giving them an insight into what is going to be happening. And I finish it off with a big thank you. And so I need to turn, there we go. That's the presentation of the work of the career fair. And so I don't call it a job fair. I call it a career fair. I'm trying to look for people that want to have a career with our company. And so that's day 1. Day 2 is the work bee. If you listen to the podcast, you've heard all about this. This is a day when we get to see them actually working together, getting to see them working outside, get to see them how they react to physical labor. Do they have the stamina? Do they lead well? Do they work well with teams? This is when we have a simple project around our shop that they can do. This is things like bearing extension cord for we need to move lines. It can be holes of the gravel. We had in February, we had them actually section off the salt that we had left over from the winter in the buckets and things. We had them separate that all out and measure it and weigh it. It's super easy stuff. Doesn't take a lot of experience. Doesn't take any sort of skill. because that's all we're looking for. We're looking for people how do they work together? Who's the person talking and communicating? Who's the individual that works well with our guys that are leading the groups and leading the whole working and what needs to be done? Who works well with that? Who is pushing themselves, working hard, and actually, physically, working hard? That's all really valuable. That's day 2. And then day 3 is the interviews. And we're going to talk a lot about this today, what the interview process is like. That third day, so basically after day 1, that career fair night, you'll cut out like half the people. They won't even show up to the next day because they realize that, wow, these people aren't going to like give me a job on the spot. They're not just going to like try me out. They're not going to give me a cheap job. They actually really invest in who is going to be working for them. And that's what you want to be portraying. And they also will realize that, hey, this might not be the job for me. I might not want to be working outside when it's hot or when it's really wet. And so you kind of try to weed all those people out using that presentation. So day 2 is that work bee, and literally you'll cut out another half of people just by having that work bee, and then you'll know the individual that you do not even want to interview. You're saving yourself a whole bunch of time because you can literally go get out of 30, 40 people that show up to the career fair night, then like 10 might show up to the work bee, and then 4 or 5 you might actually want to hire. You might actually want to interview, and then maybe 2 of those you want to hire. So that's kind of the numbers breakdown, and it's really important. Now let's talk about interviewing, because it kind of leads into the second way that we hire people. So we talked about career fairs, and the third day is when you do the interview. But there's also another way, and so what's nice about the career fairs, you can get a massive amount of applicants and get them in one room and get them weeded down pretty quickly within a few days. What's not possible for us to do at this moment is to have career fairs like every single week. So instead of doing that, what we do is we've had 3 career fairs this year, and then what we do is on an ongoing basis, we're always trying to get applicants to fill out that online form for an application. And so as those forms come in, this is the kind of the process that we use. And this kind of goes into the second way that we hire people. And that is when after we've had career fairs and throughout the rest of the year, basically on a continuous basis, we're always looking for people. So those signs that we put on our trucks don't go away. And we're always trying to get new applicants and new people. If there's all stars that are applying, I'm going to make room for them. We're going to make sure we get enough work. I'm going to make sure that there's enough room for improvement and growth within the company. I'm going to make sure there's enough jobs and we're growing and expanding fast enough. If you find the great people, that is the commodity, that is the limiting factor to our growth, is finding good people. So I'm never going to turn someone away and say, hey, we already have everyone that we need on our team. Sorry. So I'm not interested in trying to take down those signs. I'm not interested in taking down Craigslist ads or taking away our referral bonus program. I'm always trying to make sure that we get a steady applicant of leads. And this is like, people always talk about leads and marketing for customers, but what about for employees? Like, this is, for many landscapers, the number one reason they can't grow is they can't find good help. And so you should be looking at finding people the same way that you look at finding new customers. You should be going out and actively trying to find them. You should be going actively marketing to them, trying to make sure that you get in front of them and they we talk about ClickFunnels, we talk about website optimization, but what about the same things for your customers as for finding employees? That's how you need to be thinking about hiring long-term and having a system in place that for a career fair gets a bunch of people together and siphons out the good ones. And then another system that we use to long-term and over the sort of time, the rest of the year, still be handpicking, kind of picking and choosing between the great applicants that come through your door. And so this is the third day of the career fair is interviewing, but it's also the thing that we do throughout the entire year. And that is, how do you interview people? How do you reference check them? And how do you get them through your process? And so that third day, we're doing an interview. And also, for instance, right now, we're not doing career fairs. If someone applies, this is the process we use. This is the second way that we hire people. And that's called the interview method. And so basically, like I said before, they're going to fill out an online application. That is absolutely mandatory. From whether it be Craigslist ads or a referral program, people know they have to fill out that application. They can't just send us a resume. The only way they won't initially engage with us is when I have that alert from Craigslist that emails us every single time someone posts onto Craigslist resumes in our area. Then we would reach out to them and say, hey, then we'd point them to the online application. That's the only time we reach out to people. Otherwise, they are going to our website and they are filling out our online application for work. And that's kind of the process that we use. That's number one, is the online application. Number two is the phone screening. So when that application comes in to our office staff, we have two individuals on our team that are going to screen out applicants. They are going to call them. And if the applicant is good on the phone and their application that they sent in was good, then that office person is going to set up an interview, usually the next day. And so if they're not good though, they're going to find out. They're going to see on their application that they aren't the type of individual that's going to work well for our team. Again, a lot of those people that apply online aren't even going to get a call back because they didn't put anything in that box at the bottom that said, tell us a little bit about yourself. They just wrote like 2 words, or they tried to copy and paste their entire resume into that box and it became combobulated. And they're just trying to, apply to a gazillion companies and hope something sticks. And so we weed out all those people. We weed out individuals that we know right from the get aren't going to work for our company if they live far away, things like that. That's the screening process. Then one of the 2 office people call them and screen them again on the phone. If they're good, they set them up for an interview. This is where I want to talk about now. So this is the interview process. This is when they actually get to see me. I'm still pretty involved in the interview process. I have had my office manager and my project manager, they have conducted interviews for me in the past. And actually, Austin, who starts Wednesday, was interviewed by my project manager and my office manager while I was away last week. And so I'm trying to slowly kind of give that aspect of the company away, even the interviewing, but I'm still pretty involved. And so during that interview, I'm not super into asking weird questions. This is all personal opinion. Everyone has their own kind of thoughts on this, but I'm not into asking weird questions, scenarios, things like that. I'm more worried about just a few things. I'm asking the most important thing I'm asking for is references. And I'm not looking on the resume for references. I am basically asking, this is what I do. I'll show you what I do when I get someone coming in for an interview. I will take a pad of paper just like this. I will write their name at the top. And then I'll basically say, after just a little bit of gab, getting him comfortable, getting him sit down in my office, things like that. After that's all taken care of, I write their name at the top. And I say, all right, where are you working now, or where did you work last? They tell me their employer. I write that down. All right. Then I say, what'd you do there? What were you responsible for? What was your day? What did your day look like at that employer's place of work? And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give them as much areas to mess up as possible. I'm trying to weed them out. This is what I'm still trying to weed people out right here. I'm trying to find one thing that will instantly take them off the list. And this is the great thing about marketing when it comes to hiring. If you are hiring and all the time, and if you're constantly looking for applicants, and if you're marketing and getting a steady flow of leads for new hires, you can get really picky about who you're hiring. And so literally for us now, if there's one red flag in any process, whether it be the phone interview, the online application, the interview itself in person, the reference check, anything like the drug test, the background check, any of those things have one red flag, we're not hiring that individual. The reason for that is because we have so many leads coming in and people wanting to work for us, we're able to weed out anyone else that is not good. And it doesn't mean that the great people are always there and then we have tons of those great people. It just means that we don't have to hire people because we're stranded or because there are only 2 applicants a year that ever apply to work at our company. So really the value is really unparalleled if you can get a steady flow of applicants coming to your website. So we have people applying almost every single day online to work for our company. That's coming through, like I said, referrals. It's coming through the Craigslist ads, the Facebook, the Nextdoor, the signs in our truck, constantly getting those leads so that if any time in this interview there's a red flag, I instantly know they're not working for us. There's no second chances. I'm done with hiring people and then firing them 2 days later. I'm just done with that. And so they have to get green flags and all these things. They have to be like a raging success for the person that calls them, but at the office, to me at the interview, to the reference checks, they have to be perfect. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing employer. Where'd you work last? They're going to tell me if they're working somewhere now or maybe they're unemployed. I'm going to then ask about one thing only, and that is how did it end? Because if they're not working for this employer right now, I want to know how did it end? Because if it's a bad, ugly ending, if they left on bad terms, I want to know what happened that day they left. Why did they leave? What was the name of the person they didn't like there? I want to know all the gory details. And then what I'm going to ask them is basically this. I'm going to say, who, this is reference right here. This is what I'm looking for. I'd say, who can I call over at that employer for a reference check? Now, I have not looked at their resume. I have not looked and seen if they have references from this employer. Because guess what? They're not going to put references on their resume if they know they have something negative to share. So this is what I do. I don't play around with this. I say, okay, employer one, this is the person you're most currently working for. Great. I talk about what they do on a day-to-day basis, what they were responsible for. I say, who over there could I call for a reference check? And then I pick up my pen, I look down at my paper, and I wait for them to answer. And they'll say like, some of them, if they do not give me an answer or they don't know the name, there is something there, and I will call that employer and I'll try to figure it out. If I think they're going to continue on in the process, but if they don't know the name of their manager or someone that I can get a reference from, like what were they were not invested in that job, so that's an immediate red flag. It should be instantaneous. And so they'll say, okay, yeah, Bob Jones. Yeah, Bob Jones. I'm like, okay, great. And how do you spell that last name? Jones. All right, perfect. I want them to know that I am going to call this Bob Jones. Then what I say is, so when I call Bob Jones, not if I call Bob Jones, but when I call Bob Jones, what do you think he is going to say about you, prospective applicant? And then they realize, sometimes you'll actually see it in their eyes, they realize that you're actually seriously going to call this person and you are seriously going to get the gory details of how it all went down. And so if there's anything they've been trying to hide from you in how it all went down, all of a sudden they realize that they've just given you permission to call Bob Jones and that you are going to call Bob Jones because you said, when I call Bob Jones, what is he going to say? And you'll be amazed at how much the story changes for people that you don't want on your team. They'll all of a sudden give you the real details. I say, oh, well, if you do call him, they'll probably say I didn't show up to work on time. They might say something about this one time. These are real instances. This one time when I did get mad at a customer and I flipped them off, and then one time someone said, they might say something about one time when I accidentally took some money, and so like from the register. And so these are things I'm looking for, right? If they say right off the bat, they'll say I'm a good worker. They'll say I showed up on time. I hope they say I work hard. Those are all good things. Obviously, I'm still going to reference check that. I'm going to make sure that story checks out, but that's good. Then I'm going to go to the next employer. Employer number 2, I'm going to do the same thing. Where'd you work before that? You worked there 2 years. Where'd you work before that? Who's a good person there I can contact? What'd you do on that, at that job? What were you responsible for there? And then the famous question is, when I call that XYZ reference, what are they going to say about your performance at the company? And what are they going to say about how you left the company? So I don't want it to be about, if people leave companies because weird stuff happened or maybe they are mad at, like, what I'm looking for, what I don't want to see is someone getting mad at their employer. I don't care how bad the experience was. If they left screaming and slamming doors and bad mouthing their employer, there's a really good chance if they ever have something against me or my company, they're going to do the same thing. If they went online and started to share a bunch of garbage, even if it was true about the previous employer, there's a good chance if they have a disagreement, they're going to do the same thing about my company. And so I don't get super optimistic when it comes to interviewing and references. I just look at the facts and I don't expect people to change. And so that's how I do my interviews. And then I actually, if they go through the interview and I talk about other stuff, their hobbies, what they're interested in. I want to actually get to know them as a person. If they've got through all of these things and there's still like positive signs, I'm like, yeah, this person might be an option. Obviously, I'm still going to reference check them, but I'll talk to them about what they enjoy, why they want to come to work for us. I'll talk about experience they've had landscaping. I'll talk about customer service experiences they had. We'll go really in depth. Now, some of my interviews will take 10 minutes because by their first employer and this first question, I know right off the bat, we're not going to hire them. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to spend an hour with them. But if I know they're good and this one was good and the next employer was good and everything seems to be good, obviously I'm going to reference check. I'm not going to offer them a job right now, but I am going to talk to them for like a good 45 minutes, an hour, get to know them a little bit more, talk about their family, talk about more experience stuff, get sure a little bit more about the company. Like that's all in the interview process, even in that first one. Then what happens, I do not offer them a job on the spot. I never offer them a job on the spot. I get as much information as I possibly can. I take a ton of notes. And then I actually go call Bob Jones. And I do call XYZ. reference check, and I call them, and what I am looking for is for a raving review. I am not looking for a hum-ha, like, yeah, they were good. Yeah, they're okay. Or if they don't even know who they are, that's a problem too. If you're like, yeah, I'm calling for a reference check for Mike, and they're like, Mike, who's Mike? You're like, they work for you right now, and they're like, oh yeah, like obviously that person didn't make much of an impact on their manager or their owner or whoever. I'm also looking for things that don't match the story of the applicant. So I had asked them, how did it end with Bob Jones? How did it end with XYZ employer? And I am going to ask Bob Jones the same question and ask them, how did it end? Well, what happened? Was it just because they had to move out of town, or did they do something wrong? And I'm making sure those notes line up with exactly what the applicant said, because if they were not honest with me, that's an immediate red flag, and they're immediately not going to be working for our company. And so that's kind of the process that I use for doing the interview and doing the reference check. And to me, the reference check is super important. Like I said, I am looking for the employer or the manager that says, you will not regret hiring this individual, or they were the best employee I've ever had. Those are the two things that I'm looking for: the best employee I've ever had, or you will not regret hiring this individual. And then obviously the things like showing up on work on time and working hard, those are important. But I'm looking for a raving review from the employer in order to actually get someone. Like if I get a raving review from somebody, from their employer, they are going to get hired probably. Very likely they're going to get hired. If they have 2 or 3 employers that I got reference numbers and names from, and I called those individuals and they are all raving reviews, there's a very good chance that applicant is going to get hired. And so to me, the interview is important, but the reference checks are like the biggest thing. You shouldn't expect people to change. If they were a great worker for someone else, they're probably going to be a great worker for you. If they were a lousy worker for someone else, they're probably going to be a lousy worker for you. If they didn't show up on time, or they had trouble getting to work on time for the previous employer, they're probably going to do the same thing for you. And so I am really bullish on this idea of reference checking every applicant, looking through every single one of their, I don't care if it's 10 years ago, I'm calling that reference check. And I'm going to figure out what happened, why did the applicant get fired or laid off, or did it just end naturally? What happened? And then I'm going to, if everything's checked out, remember, they might have gone through a career fair. They went through a work bee. Then they went through an interview. Then they went through reference checks. They've gone through all of these things. Maybe they didn't go to a career fair, but they did an online application, and then they did a phone interview, phone screening, and then they got an in-person interview. Then they had reference checks, and then we offer them a job. And so after the interviews, it's usually a day before, because I actually go call all the references. It's a day later. Usually we call that applicant and say, hey, we'd love to have you on our team. Why don't you come in and we will give you a job offer? We do not, say, hey, can you start Monday? Can you start next week? We're not talking about that. We are talking about a job offer. And so when they come in again, I have another hour where I get to talk more about the company, more about them, how they're going to fit in. We're now giving them a job offer. I get them excited about working for us, about what their first day of orientation is going to be, how they're going to spend the first half day with just me and really get to know me a little bit more. And we're going to go out for lunch and get them excited. And then I'm going to present a job offer. I don't expect them to answer right away. I tell them to go sit on it. I tell them to go talk to their wife, talk to their family, and see if it's right for them. And then usually within a day, they get back to us and accept the job offer. So by the time they've got that far, they know a lot about your company and you know a lot about them. And that's the objective during the interviewing process and the hiring process, is to really get to know as much as you possibly can about the potential applicant, and then also weed out all the people you don't want to be working for your company. So that's it for the hiring part. Stick with me, because I'm going to show you the emails that we have created for our monthly newsletters. But before we get into that, I'm going to take just 1 or 2 questions. We'll get all of your questions at the very end. But if there are any questions about what we've talked about so far, about hiring, the hiring process, career fairs, interviewing, reference checks, etc., I'd love to hear you. So I'm going to read through some of this stuff that's going on here in the chat room. So here we go. We don't have any video on YouTube. That is not good. Sorry, Nathan. Hopefully you got back onto Webinar Jam. Introducing myself, Isaac Miller from Houston, Texas. All right. So, good afternoon, Pierce Mackey from North Indiana. Cool. Welcome, everyone. Can't see you on your YouTube channel. It's just a picture of your logo. Just a heads up, man. I think some of the other guys are explaining the same thing. Welcome name thing. Okay, so hopefully everyone is able to see the video. If you click the link that is from your email, you should be able to see from Webinar Jam and not from YouTube. I think it might be too sometimes your web browser, if you're not using Chrome, sometimes Safari messes up and then it takes you to YouTube and stuff. Sorry, Nathan, that's really weird that you can't see stuff. I'm horribly sorry about that because I'm showing a lot of stuff. And I'm going to be showing the newsletters here in just a second. So try right now would be a good time if you want to jump. Oh, also, if you're not seeing the video, you are going to get a recording of this whole thing after the show. But one quick thing for everyone that is here today live, everyone that's here live is going to get 50% off on the conference in January. Okay, so this January Landscape Summit, we're having it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great conference. I really don't know how many people are going to show up because it's our first one and we're still so far early. It's still months and months away. But it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to be speaking there. I have some people that I know are amazing speakers. Some world, like the best of the best are going to be there. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know if there's going to be 75. I don't know if there's going to be 300. I have no idea. I'm hoping to pack out the place, but it's going to, the first one, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so it's going to be 50% off for everyone that is currently on the webinar right now. So if you go to landscapebusinesscourse.com, click on the conference link, you can basically pay right now. It's $299, and you can actually, what's going to happen is you're going to pay $299, and then my office will refund you within 24 hours 50%. So basically right now it's $299. They're going to give you $150 back refunded onto your card if you buy today, for everyone that's on the webinar. So basically landscapebusinesscourse.com, go to the conference. You can just go to landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference and just click on sign up. Pay the $299, but then my office is gonna refund you $150 because then they're just gonna look at everyone who has registered for the webinar, and then just if it lines up, they're gonna refund $150. So 50% off. Only for the people here that are listening here on the webinar. It's going to be an absolute blast. It's 3 days in January 17th, 18th, 19th. It's going to be an absolute blast. I can't wait to see you guys in person. So let's go ahead and jump right into the newsletters portion of today's show. And I'm going to show you exactly the newsletters that we use. So I'm hoping everyone can watch this. And sorry to Nathan or anyone else that sorry to everyone out there, anyone out there that can only see the video on YouTube or can't see the video on YouTube. Really sorry about that. Try going back in your email, click on the webinar jam link, and it should be in where you have the chat and everything here on the right hand side. All right, so thank you, Nathan. Yeah, already bought a ticket. I can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see everyone else there sign up. I think right now, I think there's only like 20 or 30 people applied or registered, so I'm kind of worried. And then I talked to the venue that we are going to have the conference at, and she's like, to have 20 or 30 people signed up 9 months before or 8 months before your event is like unheard of. So I was kind of like relieved. I was like, oh no one's going to show up. She's like, no, like that's never happened. So does the ticket have to be bought today for the discount? Yes, it does have to be bought today, Pierce, because otherwise the office isn't going to be able to decipher. So go ahead and buy it. And then the office will see your email address and line up and refund you $150 probably tomorrow morning or by tomorrow. They will refund that to you. But yeah, it does have to be bought today because otherwise it's hard for us to track. So that's enough of that. But do go to landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference and sign up for that. Everyone on here, we will see all your emails and we'll be able to line them up and give you that $150 back in your pocket. So now I'm going to show you, this is what a lot of the course members, I've done this personally with them over webinars for consulting stuff. But now I want to show everyone out there, this has completely changed the game for our company in the past year. The amount of marketing that landscaping companies do is usually too small, but definitely the thing they don't do enough of is trying to market to the individuals they have already bought from their company, their weekly mowing customers, their maintenance customers. How do you upsell those individuals? So one of the best ways to do that is, I'm going to open it up for you. Sorry. I'm just opening up. One of the first ones I wanted to show you is this one. All right. So I'm going to show you the newsletters that we send to our our email list. So this is, for us, it's several thousand people that we have got their email list. This is everyone from, whether it be retail products or have asked for an estimate, have filled an online estimate form, have in any way, shape, or form come in contact with our company, and we have their email address. They are on this list. And so every month we send them an email, and it really corresponds with what time of year it is. So I'm going to show you January's right now. Let me open it up. January. I'm going to open it up in a separate window. Very good. Sorry, I'm just opening it up for you guys. So this right here, I'm going to show it to you now. Screen share on. And I want to share this email. There we go. So this is perfect. So this is the email that all our customers would be getting. We can customize things like their name and things like that. But this is the January. So this is January's. The title of it is What a Year. And basically we recap what we did in the past year. You know, for this one, we revamped our software communication. We talk about how that helps them with the client portal, online payment system, and our communication, things like that. How we added new services. And we started doing more tree work, and we also started plowing, and we also started a second location in the south part of the county. And then we look forward to 2018 and some of the things we're doing. We're doing hiring more people, getting a better training and safety system, developing that, and then streamlining our project management and communication procedures. And then we also show our videos. So these are videos that we do every month. You've probably heard me talk about our vlog. And this is where all our customers can watch the jobs that they might have had done on their property or in their community or their neighborhood. And it's super cool. You can get hundreds and hundreds of views just by people watching. Like our January one, I think, has like 1,600 views, which is all people local. Like these are people that we have sent this email to. They watch this video. They can see the type of work that we do. And this is amazing. The amount of response we're getting back from these newsletters, these monthly newsletters, is phenomenal. After we send out several thousand of these, literally the office is swamped with work for the next few days because people are responding back to this. So this email, for instance, really is not trying to sell anything. It's not trying to, I'm just turning this back on. Newsletter. So there's a nice mix between your newsletters of sales and then just what I call touch points. So these are points, like the reason customers get cold, and they don't buy from you anymore, or they don't buy from you enough, is because they get cold. You don't touch them enough. So cold customers are caused by you not touching them enough. And in these monthly newsletters are a great way for you to touch them. In this list of thousands and thousands of customers that we have in our email list, some of them we haven't done service for in a year or 2 years. Like they are cold leads because we have not done work for them. So our objective is to try to stay in touch with them, try to stay so they are top of mind service. They come back to us, and really trying to make sure that the relationship between our customers and ourselves don't go cold. We don't want them to stay away from us for a year or two. We want them to stay top of mind. And whenever they have problems with their landscaper and lawn care, they come to us. And so you want to have that mix of sales in those newsletters, and then you want to have a mix of just touch points. So I'm going to show you another example here. This is our February. Here it is. I'm going to open it up for you. This is our February newsletter email that we also sent out to all of our customers, right? I'm going to show you this one right here. Mosing. So the name starts soon. Okay, so this is really just an announcement, honestly, to our customers that, hey, season's coming up. We're going to start mowing first week of March. If your grass is already growing, let us know. We'll start mowing. So we usually send these newsletters mid-month. The reason for that is because it gets really busy around the beginning and end of a month, like the 30th, 31st, 1st, and 2nd, because of invoicing and things like that. People are updating billing, things like that. So we try to send these in the middle of the month. And if you're already a mowing customer, basically this is a double-edged sword. Number one, it's telling our existing mowing customers when we're going to start on their service, and letting us know if it's too wet or they don't want us to start yet, that they can call us and reschedule. It's also telling the people who are not our mowing customers, it's reminding them that the mowing season coming up, and if they don't want to be mowing themselves, they should call us. So this is kind of a double-edged sword. And again, this is another video, part of the vlog. It says, P.S. Watch the video below for some of the winter work and improvements we have made. So on this video, we actually show us repainting this skid steer that you can see here, and we customized it with our logo and everything like that. and we show all the behind the scenes. We show the tree work that we did during that winter, and this is February's newsletter. So now I'm going to show you. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to show you what next month looks like. So let's jump down to here. This is so I have two more I'm going to show you. This one is more of a bit of a sales newsletter. This one I'm about to show you right now. And this one is going to basically be trying to sell people the packages that we have for treatments. And so let me turn this off. There we go. And then show you this email. This is the one that we sent. Pitch. Number one, we're trying to get them to click this and get them to sign up for a free estimate for a spring cleanup. When they click on this, basically just signs them up for it schedules them for a free estimate for their spring cleanup. Again, we're sending out thousands of these. We will get dozens and dozens, like instantly. Like if we need to fill up our schedule, sending out one of these newsletters will fill us up for weeks out. Just by getting in touch with all your customers. I guarantee you're losing money right now because your customers you're not in touch with. You don't know their needs and they don't know your services that will meet those needs. And so I promise you, staying in touch with your customers is a good thing. The reason people are afraid, landscapers are afraid to stay in touch with their customers is because they think that by staying in touch with them too much, emailing them, staying in communication, that they're going to open up the door for criticism. They're going to open up the door for complaints. And guess what? That's just what you want. Because if they don't share those things with you, if they don't communicate those complaints with you, they're just going to end up canceling and you're not going to know why. So there's no negative thing to communicating once a month with your customers like this. So this is our one what we're talking about. It was just before the first day of spring, as you can see. We're talking about spring cleanup. We're talking about what spring cleanups include. And then we're trying to get them on treatment schedules. So we're talking about the few common lawn issues that we deal with in our county. Trying to make the content here relevant to them. So we're trying to teach them. If they don't buy from us, fine. We're going to be we're going to be the experts that train them on how they should be doing this for themselves. And I actually have made this thing for the do-it-yourself folks. Here are our recommendations. I actually tell them what type of fertilizers we use, what type of sprays we use, how we treat their lawn, and they can click right here and get an article written by our company that spells out exactly what type of product to use on all of these things, moss, dandelions, thatch buildup. But guess what? I'm not trying to go after the do-it-yourself folks. I would rather just educate them, give them great information, tell them what to use, and they go do it themselves because they're going to go recommend us and tell everyone else how great we are that we told them and recommended them what type of product to use. And they're going to always remember that. And if there's ever someone they know that needs service, they're going to recommend us. So the do-it-yourself folks, there are definitely people out there that you will mow their lawn, but yet they will still want to do the moss treatment. They will want to do the thatching, the aeration. They will want to do their trimming of the trees. But if you can make sure that you communicate to them enough, that you can communicate that you are the expert in the field and you educate them on moss and dandelions and thatch buildup and the value of doing cleanups, if you can communicate that to them and become the expert, they will give you referrals. And for the people that aren't do-it-yourself folks, they read this, they know you're the expert, they know what you're talking about, and they are going to buy from you. This is the one punchline we ask for in this whole email. All of this is education. The rest of it, this just says, want Augusta to fertilize and apply treatments to your lawn? Drop us an email. We'll send you an estimate with basic and premium treatment package options. So we have these two options for treatments that we have put together. The basic package has 4 treatments a year. The premium package has 9. And it has everything from fertilizers to coration to thatching based upon which package they choose. And then again, we have our video right in here where they can watch the latest video from our vlog and give them up-to-date information on what the jobs we are doing are. So that's with the third one. Let me send out like a few weeks ago. And this is also not a sales newsletter. The one I'm about to show you right now. This one is all it's doing is introducing our customers to our new greenskeepers, our new employees. And so, number one, this helps your employees. They get to see their face on all of your customers get to see their face, and they like that. Your employees. I'm going to go ahead and screen share this to you. So this is the email that we just sent out recently. It showed the 4 most very top here. They can click this and show the video vlog. Also, they can click this tab. But then here we say, hey, these are the 4 people we've hired in the past month. We got Ben, Tara, Riley, and Aaron. And we share a little bit about them. Riley's getting married. Tara used to be a barista. Ben is, going to be our artificial turf project manager. He's into irrigation. Aaron is wanting to become an arborist, just got married. Riley's about to get married here pretty soon. Like kind of in behind the scenes, because then what's going to happen is their existing customers are going to read this. They are going to, like the fact that they know people's names, associate it with their faces, and because they're going to see them on their property. And then we also throw this in the bottom. We say, hey, we'd like to thank everyone for their patience. It's very busy during the springtime. We usually try to get back to people super fast, but we're trying to get within 24 hours. And we basically also say this is for our non-customers, the people who haven't done business with us for a long time, but are still on our email list. We say, hey, we're very busy right now. We're always trying to find great people. We've slowed our growth just to ensure that we have high quality standards for our work and our team. This is, again, planting seeds in the individual's mind. Even if they're not going to be a buyer, I want them to be our fan. I want them to be our referral engine that will tell other people about our company. They're going to tell their friends, hey, if you need landscaping, you got to use Augusta because they have great people. I saw Aaron and Tara and Riley and Ben on their last newsletter, and they look like great people. They're smiling. And I saw that, Augusta is really invested in making sure that they have great people by doing drug tests and background checks and no smoking policies. And so this is a way for bring your customer on the inside of your business, that you're able to give them the behind the scenes. They feel a part of your organization because you're talking about the people. You're talking about the struggle of finding great people, the struggle of the spring rush. You're bringing them on the inside, and that will make a customer stay. And so thing that we have used in the past 12 months to really double the amount of lifetime revenue of a customer is by staying in touch with them, making sure you communicate what you can do for them, and then also listening to what they are needing from your service. So hope today helped someone out there. If you haven't already, go to landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference, buy a ticket today. We're going to refund you 50% of it, $150, within the next 24 hours, because the office will refund that for me. If you have questions, this is the time to ask questions. I'm going to go to the chat room, and we're going to ask questions about career fairs. If you have questions about how to interview people, how to hire people, how to find them, this is the best time to ask those questions. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the chat room. But again, go to landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference, reserve your ticket today, 50% off. It's $150 off of today's ticket price of $300. So just go landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference, buy it sometime today. So you don't have to go off right now because we're about to Q&A, but anytime today, the office will look at the email addresses and give you 50% off. They'll just refund you $150 on that ticket price. It's going to be a great event, 3 days, jam-packed from 9 a.m. to like 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. every single evening. We are going to be having live speakers, content, workshops, and it'll be 100% based on your business. Nothing promotional. Sponsors aren't going to be involved. I'm not going to be making money. This is totally 100% about offering value to the people that come and that are attendees. So definitely check it out, landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference. Get 50% off today only for only the people that are listening to this right now. All right. So let's jump into the conference. I'm going to jump in the chat room here and get a drink of water. But if you have any questions, this is the time to ask them. Isaac is going to be there. Cool. Can't wait to see you there, man. Pierce, I hope you're able to. Great. I'm glad you got video feed, and I'm also hoping that you got the ticket today because you can get that discount. Very cool. Any questions? Okay, Artem asks, I'm going to go ahead and broadcast this. Artem asks, how are you able to give an estimate within minutes? Okay, so first of all, Artem, thanks for the question. If you're a course member, there's a video in the bonus section that explains a lot more about this, how we do videos estimates within minutes. It's on our last webinar. So you'll see a webinar, the last live webinar that was public, not the course members webinars, but the last one that we did in December. You can check that one out. We talk about how when people call, the software that we use for when people text us, and when they text us, and how we capture that lead and make an estimate within minutes. For mowing, it's by square footage. For landscaping, if they're texting us, they just have to text us a word, and we can set them up right from here with an estimate. So yeah, sorry. Wrong one. This is the one we were just talking about. How to give an estimate within minutes. Yeah, for mowing, it's super easy. For landscaping and cleanups, you still have to send an estimator, but you can get back to them within minutes. And it's a process of just using square footage for mowing, and a process of making sure you have the systems in place to get estimates set up within a few minutes, and then getting that estimate created after you meet that person within minutes as well. Pierce. All right, let me go ahead and broadcast. I have yet to hire anyone, but I have had countless family members and friends offer to work for me. How do you feel about hiring people that you know personally? Okay, so I'm really not a fan. And the thing is, when you get desperate, it's an easy place to go because you do kind of know them. You know you can trust them. And trust is fine and good. It's really the most important part, and that's why people do it. But disagreeing with someone you have to spend time with 24/7, and a family member, or that you know personally, basically you have to ask yourself, if this relationship were to end, is it worth them being hired by me? Like, you have to basically assume that's going to mess up your personal relationship, and ask yourself if you're okay with that. I would not personally anymore hire people that I know or that is in my family. Absolutely not. However, I did when I started. I got beat up for it a few times. However, and like bad stuff happened, and it was hard to fire people and things like that. So I wouldn't do it again. However, if you're just starting out, it's super nice to be able to hire someone, your first hire, your second hire maybe, that you know, because you trust them so much. So I'd say if you're just starting out, you're just like Pierce, you haven't hired anyone yet, to get another guy in the truck with you, or maybe a second crew, yes, maybe tap into the family and friends. But as you scale a company, you don't want to have that. It's baggage. It's people start thinking you do favoritism within the company as the company gets bigger when you're not. And you just don't want to have that. So that's just my opinion. Isaac ask a question. Mike, what does it look like providing benefits to your employees? Who gets them? Roughly, what does it cost for them? Do you still go through Gusto to provide them? I want to start providing benefits in the near future for key guys at least, but worried it's going to cost a fortune. All right. So when we talk about benefits, everyone thinks about healthcare, but there's other benefits. There's paid time off. There is other types of even medical coverage that isn't full coverage. And so when people think about even medical costs, they are thinking about the, thousands of dollars, but you can get really cheap stuff like accident coverage through Aflac is like $30 a month. It's going to cover accidents on or off the job where guys get hurt. So if they tweak their back, they can go get a chiropractor. We got this for our entire team. And Aflac isn't the only company that sells this. I'm not trying to promote them. There's other insurance companies that sell this stuff, but it's like accident insurance is out there. There's disability insurance, where if someone is long-term injured, that they're covered. And so it's another form of insurance. You can buy people life insurance. It's super, super cheap. $10, $15 a month for term, but you can give someone the peace of mind of having life insurance if they have a family. Like I said, the accident plan, 30-something bucks a month. The disability plan is like $60 a month. And it covers them if they get hurt on or off the job. For the accident plan, the disability thing is if they are hurt long-term, they are taken care of and given a certain percentage of wages back to them. In addition, if they got hurt on the job from L&I, they're going to obviously get more wages refunded back to them. But on or off the job is coverage for them. And it's a plan that gives cash. So it's not like where they have to do a deductible or a copay. If X happens, like broken arm, they get X amount of dollars. If they go to the ER, they get X amount of dollars. If they go to the chiropractor, they get X amount of dollars. And so they're able to just use that and contact the agent whenever those things are done. And our company is able to pay for that. It's pretty cheap. It's better than nothing. It's not full benefits. It's not like we don't have a 401k yet set up yet, but there's so many different ways you can offer benefits. I'd get creative instead of trying to think in the mold of like, I got to offer full full coverage life or full coverage health insurance for all my people. Like, yes, that's a great place to get to, but I would start somewhere lower, whether it be paid time off or acquired paid time. Like if they work 40 hours, they get 1 hour of paid time off, stuff like that. We now have paid sick leave a week a year. It's kind of what it averages out to. That's now mandated by our state. It's not necessarily a benefit, but a lot of times they'll just cash in on that paid time off at the end of the year. So lots of types of benefits that you can think up, like get creative about benefits if you can't afford thousands of dollars. But Gusto is a great place to do medical coverage and things like the accident coverage, disability coverage. You can get all of that stuff, those benefit stuff through Gusto, which from my other podcast, gusto.com/bootcamp, you can get some of that stuff for free if you are interested. All right, any more questions? I am here in the chat room and ready for your questions. I hope I get to see everyone here at the conference. I really do. I know a few of you have already said you've signed up, but I hope I get to see everybody. It's going to be so much fun. Cool, Isaac, you early at the video. Thank you. Good. All right. Any more questions? Any about hiring, about the career fair, anything that we said today, about the newsletters? Any of your questions, I'm happy to answer. Got a few more minutes here before I got to leave. Who is signing up for the conference? Conference is going to be epic, man. I can't wait. I'm like so excited. It's going to be a lot of work, but like, oh, by the way, I just remembered something. Let me just think 1 second. Is there anyone here? If you have 5 or more employees and you're listening to this right now, email me. We are going to be doing this really cool thing, and I haven't really talked about it a whole lot. We're gonna go. I'm gonna basically give away the consulting package for free, but we are going to fly out to you. This is gonna be completely free for whoever gets this. We're gonna do it for 2 people, and we're gonna figure this out in July exactly who it is. But if you have 5+ employees and you would want me to come out for 24 hours and work with you on your business, and actually go out into the field, see your guys working, and I'll give you a bunch of suggestions. 24 hours. I will take care of my hotel. I'll take care of my flight. I'm going to fly one of my guys out with me. You're not going to pay a penny for it. And we're just basically document the whole thing. And we're going to use it to sell tickets, obviously, for the conference later in the year, because that's when people start buying conference tickets. It's like 2 months before, in November, December. And so we're going to create content for that. And if you are wanting to be one of those companies, let me know. Email me, landscapebusinesscourse@gmail.com. If you have 5+ employees and would be interested in me coming to your location, just let me know. All right, let me jump back into this. Isaac. Oh, and by the way, that's gonna be like in August, late August, when we're gonna fly out and do those. But just FYI, probably like 24 to 48 hours. I'll take care of everything financially. Isaac, how do you track employee hours? So we have a software system that tracks hours. It also tracks when they punch in and out of every single job, not just when they come in and out of the office and for their clock in, punch out. Nathan makes me wish I had 5 employees. Isaac, we have a software system that tracks all that for us, our timesheets. However, there's great companies out there like timesheets.com and stuff like that where you can get your employees to like have an app and do the clock in thing. But if you have like LawnPro or Service Autopilot, QuickBooks, all these other companies, they have integrated software where your employees can punch in and out, and then you get a timesheet and you can submit that to your accountant for payroll, or if you submit payroll in Gusto or QuickBooks or whatever. That's how we do it. We use Service Autopilot. We use that as our timesheets because they clock in and out at the end of each day, and then they also clock in and out of each job, which gives us a very precise timesheet because we get to see their billable time versus non-billable time when they're driving or like at the shop, and so that's kind of an interesting stat that we can use. So that's what we use for that. Any more questions? Yeah, Nathan, man, gotta get to 5 employees, man. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, I haven't talked about it really much on the podcast. I mentioned it like months ago, but we're doing it. And Josh, who's one of my employees at my company, he's really good with video and stuff. So he's going to come along and document the whole thing. And it's going to be like a miniature version of the Profit. where I got to come in, I got to see how I can fix the company, turn around, scale it up, look at your marketing, look at your employees. I'll actually be able to see your shop. I'll be able to see your employees, see your customers, and really dive deep. And we're going to video it all to help as many people as we can that are from the podcast, the course, etc. So the course members will get the video part. Artem, what kind of credentials do you look for when hiring project managers, and what exactly do they do day to day? So what am I looking for? Nathan, good. I'm glad you're trying. Keep it up, man. You're doing good. Nathan Jones. I like you, man. I remember way back. We go way back. Anyways, Artem, what am I looking for? Kind of credentials are you looking for in project managers? So when it comes to project managers, I am number one looking for someone that can lead people, that can organize, I'm looking for the team members that start off at the bottom, but they're always the ones that when I show up to a job, they're giving me a report. They're telling me that they talk to the customer. They're the one that communicates to the office that they need more supplies. They're the one that's making sure all the guys are working at the job. And they literally kind of naturally fall into the place of a leader. They're the ones that become project managers. So I never have and never will hire a project manager from day one. I will just basically hire field staff, and if they want to become a project manager, they've got to prove themselves. They've got to show that they are the one to take initiative and to take responsibility and to communicate with the office and communicate with the customer. And then I take those employees and make them project managers. And then I do the same thing for estimating. I take the project managers and I look, who can be my estimators, right? That's how I kind of move them up. And I never, ever start an estimator out from the get-go. I never start a project manager from the get-go. I never start an office manager from the get-go. They're going to start off as an office assistant. I want people to see how they have to rise to the ranks, and I want to be able to hire people at a lower pay rate and make them prove themselves that they deserve the position and higher pay of an office manager or project manager or an estimator. So as far as credentials, I'm looking for someone that can lead people, number one. Number two, as far as what do they do day to day, they are making sure that materials are getting to jobs for landscaping jobs. They are making sure that there's quality control on mowing. They are making sure that all the guys have the materials and the manpower that they need. They're the ones that communicate with the office as far as where a job is at when it comes to a big landscaping job. If they need more people, are they ahead of schedule, behind schedule? They are liaison with the customer and making sure they communicate with the customer. So that's kind of their day-to-day. They are still in the field. They are still working. They are not, driving a truck all day. I want a project manager to actually be at the project. And so they might be doing 2 projects or 3 projects a day, but they're still actually working there with the other guys. And I want to make sure I can always have that camaraderie between like lower level positions and managers, that the managers still jump out and work in the field. And I will still occasionally go out and dig a trench, spread some mulch, trim a tree. And it's not so much because we need the work done. It's more about associating myself with the guys and proving that there's nothing below me. There's nothing below our managers. And everyone is seen equally and is equally important within the company. And that is very important to me from a cultural standpoint. And so if my project managers think they're getting out of the field by becoming a project manager, they are mistaken, and they will probably not be a very good leader. But day to day, yeah, they're big into materials, and they're kind of just basically overseeing the job, making sure all the guys that are under them are busy throughout the day. They're really responsible if stuff is going wrong with the job to communicate with the customer, things like that. Isaac, sign me up. Interested in having you review our company. Yeah, Isaac, email me. I am mowing. Send me an email. There's already a whole bunch of people that, because I mentioned a few months ago, but we're going to be choosing 2 of them in July, and then in late August we'll be flying out. So if you're interested in that, email me. I am mowing. Cool. Pierce, what kind of qualifications are you looking for in estimators, past jobs, schooling, etc.? None of that. Like I said, I want to get people, I want to train them from the get-go. I don't mind if they have a little bit of experience mowing and things and like landscaping, but I want to get them from out in the field, the base level, get them to a project manager if they have leadership qualities, and if they know how to project manage a project financially and communicate with customers and do all of those things, then I'll take them to an estimator and then teach them the number side of the back end of things. The thing is, the way we do our estimating, if someone's a good project manager, they can become an estimator, no problem. It's very, very easy, because if they know how to project manage and they know how to budget hours and they know how long certain jobs take and how long certain services take, for instance, they should be able to look at an edging job for concrete and be like, that's going to take 2 days for 2 guys, and they should be pretty confident on that. Even if they're not an estimator, they should know that stuff. They should know how much materials that's going to take. And so for an estimator, it's more about their communication skills. So there are times when I have a great project manager, but it can't really become an estimator or isn't going to be the best in that role because they don't really like to communicate with people. They're not very good at just gab and small talk. They're not good with the communication as much with older people, which is our target market. And so the estimator is going to be a project manager that communicates well. That's basically the bottom line. Obviously, you need to be good, decent with like numbers and things, but like the way we do our estimating, if you're in the course, it's nothing to do with numbers. It's more about like materials and time. And so it's really about they need to know enough to educate a customer. So that's kind of important. And then they also need to communicate well with the client, make them feel comfortable, make them feel like professionalism is super important when it comes to an estimator. They really are the face of your business, and your sales will go down if you don't have a great estimator. Any more questions? Any more questions before we head out for today? Today's going to be a great week. This week is going to be a great week, I should say. You guys I hope something you guys got that you can implement this week. What are you going to implement this week to get more applicants for your company? Are you going to put signs on your truck? Are you going to go to Starbucks and actually start looking at the baristas as potential employees instead of just the person making your coffee? Are you going to look at the Costco checkout person and be like, hey, that person is good customer service right there. They looked at me in the eye. They gave me a good handshake. They took time with that individual in front of me. You start looking for things like that. You start giving. Are you going to do a referral program? Offer $500 free or $500 referral bonus for people that refer you applicants to work at your company that are successful. These are things that you can do this week to get more applicants in your door and find grade A talent. There is absolutely nothing in my company that I get compliments on more than the team that I work with. There's nothing we do. Quality of work we don't get as many compliments about. Our communication we don't get as much, and even though those things are super important, the quality of our work is super important. The way we communicate via email and phone and our office staff, super important. We have meetings about how body language with our customers and how to talk on the phone. We do role playing, all of that stuff. However, the most important thing, the thing that we get the most compliments on, is our team. They tell us how great they are, how well they communicate with the customer, how nice they are, just they love our team. And they always are wondering, business owners are always asking me, how did you hire these people? How do you attract these type of people? And this is why I wanted to make this show today. I want to make a job description video. That's a great idea, Nathan. Making a job description video is great. It's also something you can do at your career fair. Which is also something you can do so you basically, when you're making those monthly vlogs, those videos of all your jobs, you can put those together, take snippets of it with a voiceover and make job description videos is a great idea. And show actually what they're doing out in the field in the meantime. So I'm going to take one more question if there's any more out there, and then I'm going to say goodbye. I hope something today was valuable, something you can implement right away. I'm really not into airy-fairy, like fluff stuff. I really like to give hardcore kind of like facts and figures and just go actionable items. That's the way the conference is going to be. And it's just going to be go, go, go. It's going to be like drinking from a fire hose. But it's going to be great. The conference is going to be great. I do hope you guys take advantage of the day's offer, 50% off, landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference. If I could, I'd give everyone a free ticket, but there are a lot of costs with speakers and the venue and renting out the halls. And so we're trying to do, figure that, pay for that obviously, but I want to give you guys 50% off. So if you buy today, make sure you do. It's $299 and the office will refund you $150. Isaac, for the last question of the day. Oh, maybe another question. Anyway, Isaac says, will you give us an update on how things are going for you this year, brother? How many employees? How's the second shop doing? How's your scheduling? How many crews? Well, there's a lot of questions. What kind of revenue are you aiming for? It always motivates to hear how your business is doing. Yeah. So we are adding crews every single week. We've been hiring people for the last month. So this coming week, Monday, we have a new hire. Wednesday, we have a new hire. I'm hoping to have 7 crews. Yeah, seven crews starting up by the next week. Second shop is slowly growing on a retail side, slower than expected for the retail side, but much just as expected for the service side of things. Lots more service in that that part of the county. For that reason, we're going to have to be moving a crew. We're going to start a crew or two down there at the second shop. We're getting another truck this week, hopefully. We were going to buy the dump truck last week, but it fell through. The buyer was annoying me, or the seller was annoying me. And so, yeah, we're growing quickly. I'd say this year, our goal, I want to get 1.5 million. It's probably not going to happen. We'll probably do 1.2 plus this year. But next year literally is going to go bonkers, because this year we're still like setting, like I feel like we've got our team now down. We kind of like have got the estimating stuff, got the project management stuff. Like we kind of did coming in this year, but not to the extent like we're hiring so many people right now. And I feel comfortable with that process. So it's still kind of, we're almost in June now, where if I can come into next year into like January, February with the same mindset, knowing we have the team in place, we have both shops in 100% operating capacity, we're going to blow the roof off. So I'm looking forward to that. I will always keep you up to date, Isaac, as far as what's going on, revenue, scheduling, stuff like that. Right now, like this past week was brutal because the grass is growing so incredibly fast that the mowing crews are much, much slower than usual. Usually they can make $60 to $80 an hour. Right now they are doing like last week they were doing like 30 to 40. If not a little bit less on some of them, because like the lawns were like this long and we try to get them down. And so like it takes them way longer. And so they just, process. We had to cancel a big landscaping job because of that. We're not canceled. We just have to move it out. But we're booked out like crazy right now. We're booked out to the end of July. Smaller jobs can be fit in between some of those projects. But as far as big projects, we're booked out at the end of July. We're going to be starting in July, probably on artificial turf, which will obviously book us out the rest of the year. It's May, and we're about 8 to 9 weeks booked out right now. So hopefully that answered one of those many questions. A players are everything. They sell what customers want most, which is the customer experience. That's correct, Artem. All right. So thank you all for being here today. There will be a webinar recording sent to you. But I'm going to close it out here right now, but thank you so much for your attention. I do hope you do take advantage of the 50% off landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference. It's super early right now, so I can still do that. Once we start getting over like 50, 60, 70 attendees, we will have to keep the same price for the $299, and then after the early bird, it's going to go up because there's a lot of cost, and it's a little bit nerve-wracking, honestly. It's our first conference, and you got to pay all this money up front to like book the hotel and everything, and you're just like crossing your fingers hoping people show up. So it's going to be a lot of fun though, and I will make sure if there's 5 people that show up, it's going to be amazing. I'm gonna make sure there's so much value. You tell everyone you know. If there's 500, I'm going to do the same thing, and so I really hope you guys can be there. So check it out, landscapebusinesscourse.com/conference. Sign up, 50% off. They will refund that to you within the next 24 hours. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for being part of the course. Some of you are members. I recognized you. Most of you aren't. But thank you so much for your attention. And I look forward to seeing you in January at Landscape Summit 2019.